They never arrested a single person in 4 episodes of this Ding Dang Show. Welcome back to the Middle of Culture. I am one of your hosts, Eden.
And I am your other host, Peter.
Peter, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty okay. It was an interesting week, but it's been a decent weekend. Aubrey flew out yesterday to Salt Lake for something that her best friend is doing. I don't know all the details. All I know is it meant that we drove down yesterday morning, met up with Aubrey and Jess at Aubrey's favorite, the parents are paying, then can we go to Rodizio Grill, please? And I can get the meat sweats. So we met up with them, took them to lunch, hung out for a little bit, and then came home.
I've only been to one of those Brazilian all-you-can-meat places once. It's not for me. I get why people like it. It's not for me.
It is less for me the older I get. I fill up way faster than I used to. Like,
yeah, I don't feel like I get, we don't have any buffets really around here. I don't know if it's like, does like Chuckarama and Golden Corral still exist where you guys are?
Not here. We had a Golden Corral. It shut down, thank goodness, and never reopened during the pandemic. That was okay. But when we're over to Boise, there is a Hampton Inn that we stay at regularly. It is right next to a Chuckarama.
There you go.
So, I mean, they're still up chucking and ramming all the time.
That's good.
I think the Golden.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the Golden Corral. There's a Golden Corral in Twin that, again, when Gareth was younger, he used to want to go to when we were in Twin for swim meets. Fortunately, he has matured to the point that he no longer finds those places appetizing. So I have not had to take anyone to a Golden Corral or a Chuckarama for many moons now.
Well, that's good. Do you have Asian buffets or things like that around you to either?
So we used to have a Chinese buffet. It closed again. I think it was a victim of the pandemic. Closed during the pandemic, reopened as an Indian buffet that was very not good.
Oh.
And then now has turned into a Red Rabbit Grill.
So just Red Rabbit Grill.
Red Rabbit Grill is just basically, it is, think Applebee's, but just a little less ghetto.
Oh, less?
Less. So you're like, okay, at Applebee's, I'm 99% confident all the food just comes frozen and they just basically heat it up and bring it out to you. Here, I would say maybe they make some of it there.
95% comes from Cisco instead of 99% from Cisco.
Exactly. I mean, it's decent. It's a place I think I've been twice. And if somebody was like, hey, do you want to go to Red Rabbit Grill? I'd be like, sure. I would not argue with them. But if anybody ever said, where do you want to go? Red Rabbit Grill would not be named.
Fair.
What
we don't really have buffets like an American style buffet around here. Closest Golden Corral is probably like over an hour away. And again, it's not like I want to go to Golden Corral anyway. We have Pizza Ranch, the pizza buffet, which we've been to once. And Cassie and I were like, it's not good.
I forgot we do have we have a Pizza Pie Cafe, same sort of thing.
Yeah. Pizza Ranch is apparently very famous for their fried chicken, but I tried a piece of the fried chicken and it was nothing special.
Okay.
Also, it's called Pizza Ranch. I'm not going to Pizza Ranch for a fried chicken. Come on, guys.
Right.
And we have a couple Indian buffets downtown, but that's like it. I mean, I guess we have like Who Hot. That's all you can eat, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
But it's a different creature because you're like, it's a Mongolian grill style place. So you're, mixing up your fixins and then they're cooking it on the big old grill.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got one or two. We have one place that's like that. And then we have a new place that what was it called? King Pot. It was kind of that.
Okay.
You go and you pick your,
like a hot pot place.
Yes. Like that. You've got the boiling pot of broth There's
Sure.
like there, and then there's like a grill in the
And then
middle,
you're
and
you're ordering whatever you want to put in it.
yeah, we went there once. Very not impressed. Was like, would not go again.
I like hot pot as like a social experience of
Yeah,
like spending a couple hours hanging out with folks you want to talk with and slowly working your way through various and sundry things you're putting in the boily boil. But as a food, it's like fine.
yeah,
It's fine. It's nothing special.
yeah, yep. I
Anyway,
hear you.
this was quite a field of where I expected our episode to start, but hey, that's okay. It's more fun that way.
It is.
So, what you been up to lately, Peter?
A few things I've been checking out worth mentioning. I did think that I would let people know that I have officially finished Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 8, A Parade of Horribles, and I'm glad. I'm glad I finished it. I am both glad
Okay.
I finished it and I'm glad I'm done with it. Yeah, it's just, and I think some of this is on me. I pretty much mainlined the first 7 Dungeon Crawler Carl books, took a very short break while 8 was coming out, and then jumped right into 8. That's too much in a row.
Yeah.
Now, I understand there are people, I know people who are like, oh, just wait till you read them all again. It gets better. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to
I'm
be reading them all again when book 9
no.
comes out. I don't think I need to. I'm sure that I can find a Wikipedia or some type of the summary if I feel I need it that will get me up to speed. At the end of it, like, here's what I'll say. It very much sets things up for the next book to be the last. So I am confident the next book is going to be the last.
Really?
Yes. They get through 2 floors in this book, the 10th and the 11th floor. Most of the times on the 10th, the 11th is a very short literal parade where basically at the end of the parade, Carl's float that they had 90 minutes. They have to put this float together. And he basically, to all of the people watching, as well as the AI, is just basically like, there's not very many of us left and we have nothing to lose. So our goal is to fuck you all. Just know we're coming for you all.
Okay.
And
That
so,
sounds like a ramping up to a final battle.
well, and it makes sense because the 12th floor is this ascendancy battle where it's this whole thing where there's gods and then there are people outside who can basically pilot a god, a deity during this. And it's a whole battle where the deities fight to see who will ascend. And it seems like a good place to take advantage of the chaos and everything that will happen because there's already chaos with deities in this book that they're causing. And so I can see where that 12th floor, that ascendancy battle seems like a good place for them to take advantage of the mechanisms of that system
Uh-huh.
to tear it all down and
Sure.
go rampant. And again, Carl's motivation is not to just escape the dungeon and get out. No, his motivation is to say, all of you billions or maybe trillions, well, more likely trillions of sentient people who have been watching us die for entertainment, we are coming for vengeance. You are all culpable, and my goal is to kill you all.
Wow. That
Yes.
sounds like it's really taken a turn. That sounds fun.
It has taken a turn, and so I'm there for it. I'm here for it. I'm ready for that. But I'm also ready for a break because this book in particular was real bleak. At the end of this, I think the final number is 23. At the end of the 11th floor, there are 23 crawlers still alive in the dungeon.
And how many were there when it started?
A couple million that made it into the dungeon.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it has been whittled down. Now in the 10th floor, they managed to get a few hundred people out of the dungeon to other places via certain means and this, that, and the other. But at the end of it all, I think the number was 23 crawlers still alive inside the dungeon. So there's definitely more humans outside of the dungeon who didn't go in. We don't have any idea how many died in the collapse at the very beginning. We know about not quite 2 million went into the dungeon. We know that there's a bunch of other people outside of the dungeon, but yeah, it's definitely hit a point where I am like, okay, like we said a couple weeks ago, I need something a little bit lighter, little bit
Yeah.
more lighthearted. So that'll be what I'll be moving on to next.
Very, very fair. So
But
what do you have plans on what you're doing next? What you're moving to?
well, so there is this one-off book that I want to read called Angie Kills a King, Anji Kills a King. It's written by a guy named Evan Lycum or Lacame. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, I stumbled across him on Instagram. He did a lot of fantasy book like reels and stuff, and I kind of liked his style. Don't know that I agreed with all of his recommendations, but he seemed like I started following him because it was hey, here's somebody who I could get some book recommendations good book recommendations from, which I always like.
Sure.
And then like a year ago, he announced that he'd gotten a publishing deal and he was going to be releasing his first book that he wrote himself. And
Cool.
and I think he's working on a sequel, but right now that's the only one that's out. So I thought that'd be a nice little palate cleanser, one off. And then my plan is to pick a sub series of Discworld, and I'm going to read some Discworld.
Get into some Pratchett.
Yeah, go with something that's a little different. So,
Very fair.
couple other things worth mentioning. I still am playing Forza Horizon 6. I got my legendary gold wristband. So basically, I've
Nice.
advanced all the way, unlocked everything, pretty much all of the events. And now I'm to the point where there are a few big events left for me to do. And man, they're tough. They're tough.
Yeah.
Well, so I did
bet.
manage to take I took first place in the Titan, which is a cross country race. And so that's one where it's like fields, dirt, roads, whatever. You're just driving. I mean, they have a course laid out for you, but that one, usually a cross country course is a couple miles. The Titan was 14.4 miles long, so it was definitely longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided I would do the Colossus. The Colossus is a 23, 24 mile loop all on the highway around the island. So you're just on the highway. Now, the thing is that, each race has a specific category of cars they're required. You got to be in this category of cars. The category of cars for the Goliath is, the Colossus is S2, what is it? 900. S2 tier 900. So it's like almost the highest tier. There's R and then there's X. Those are the two highest tiers. But like S2 is real high tier. So I got in this Koenigsegg car and I'm cruising around and we're averaging about on the highway. I mean, most of the time I'm going around 250 to 275 miles an hour.
Jeez.
So it's real fast and it's very demanding because you're just like, it's just balls out the whole way. I did not finish in first place on that one. So I'm going to need to go back and either tweak my car a little bit, hone my skills on that or something so I can rank a little higher. And then I think 3 or 4 times now I have started the Goliath, which is a loop around the entire map. And it is, I think, 54 miles of racing. I have started it a few different times and then I end up stopping because I'm like, no, I don't have another 25 minutes to do this right now. So,
Sure.
But I'm enjoying Forza Horizon 6. I'll probably start taking a little bit of a break here, but I've definitely enjoyed it and gotten some good mileage, out of it. And then a couple music things I'm going to mention really fast. Evergrey has a new album out, Architects of a New Weave. I love Evergrey. I've loved Evergrey for over 2 decades now. They're just, they kind of almost, they came out of Sweden as well at about the same time as, the Gothenburg sound, Dark Tranquility, your In Flames, your all of that stuff. And I feel like in some ways Evergrey was almost a conscious reaction to the Gothenburg sound. So Evergrey is very much not death metal. Evergrey,
No.
if I had to, and I hate to say this, but they're almost like kind of a progressive power metal band, except here's the big caveat. They're never cheesy like most power metal is. And so
No, they're not.
I think that's, in fact, they're very melancholy. I've said to before that I think Thomas England, the lead vocalist for Evergrey, could sing the Hallelujah chorus and you'd still be like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. There's just something about the quality of his voice that makes everything sound mournful and melancholy. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So it's a good album. I've only had a couple days to listen to it. Godthrim, British doom band. They released their third big LP, Reflections. It's good. It's not as good as the previous two, but I like it. They're very much pulling from the vein of kind of like My Dying Bride. In fact, Aaron Stainthorpe, formerly of My Dying Bride, does vocals on one of the tracks. And so they kind of have that feel for them. But the album I want to talk the most about is the album Promise Me You'll Thrive by solo guitarist. He goes by the moniker I Built the Sky. He's from Australia. I've been listening to I Built the Sky for over a decade now, and it's always, guitar centric, instrumental, enjoyable stuff. But I don't know if it's the time he took to do Promise Me You'll Thrive or what, but this album is next level. It is a joyful sounding album of guitar music that still has these beautiful moments and then just some real great moments where you're just like, oh, that is a heavy riff. It is just, I haven't been able to stop listening to this in the 9 days or something since it came out. I did not expect to like it this much because, again, I always like an I Built the Sky album, but I don't love strictly guitar instrumental music the way I used to.
Sure.
And so it really takes something special to click for me. And I'll tell you what, this one has really clicked for me. It is a great album that I look forward to listening to every time I go, what should I listen to? I go, oh, I'm going to listen to the new I Built the Sky album because it makes me smile and it makes me it's got some great grooves. It's great. I love it.
Nice.
So that's me. What about you? What you been up to?
I have been trying to keep myself busy. Volume 16 of the Apothecary Diaries came out, and I read that bad boy in like a day and a half because it's back.
Very good.
My gremlin Mau Mau was back, and you know what's still good? Apothecary Diaries. You want
Excellent.
Here's the thing. You wanted something fun and simple and light and still intriguing. Apothecary Diaries is it.
Okay.
Cassie and I also finished volume 6 reading aloud together because we've been on a couple road trips recently. First road trip, I should mention our road trips. First one, we went to Clinton, Iowa, which is about an hour and a half away. There's this really famous sculpture. I should look him up so I can give his name. Guy who makes troll sculptures in Clinton, Iowa. So this is this guy he's a Danish guy named Thomas Dambo, and he builds huge troll sculptures all over the world. And normally they're hidden places. And out in the woods or like in a field somewhere, things like that. But I guess he made an agreement with the city of Clinton to build 3 like in prominent places in the city. So they're not hidden. They're in fact highlighted as things to go and visit in the city. So Cassie and I decided to drive up there, make the pilgrimage and see them. And then the fun thing is there's actually a 4th one hidden in a park because according to the interviews, if you read interviews with the guy, he was like, oh, everyone was just so helpful and wanted to make things go so fast. That's not how we do things in Denmark. So I had extra time. So I just made a 4th one.
Nice.
And that's the best parts of Iowa to me. Like there's a lot of things I don't love about living in Iowa, but I do love that when the people in Clinton heard, hey, this artist is going to be here doing this art installation, they were like, well, how can we help? And they all rolled up, helped him out, and then it gave him extra time to make a 4th weird troll hidden out into a park somewhere. But so we went up there. It was very fun. We also went and we had lunch in this brewery that was in an old church. And they had done minimal renovation. So, the dais was where the bar was. There was still like the big painted, mural behind it. And it all had all the stained glass windows, and pews had been turned into the tables. It was a very, very cool venue. And it was one of those things where it was like, oh, less was more here, because the fact that this still looks so much like a church and we're just having some pizzas was pretty great.
Nice.
But yeah. So that means we've been driving around a lot. The other driving we did is we just got back from the sharpening of the pencil, which I talked about last year. We went again this year to the Lodi pencil sharpening, and it was fun. It's a fun time to go up to Minneapolis for a day. And here's the important part, though. Dear listeners, I have found a hotel bed that's not uncomfortable.
Ooh.
We stayed in a Moxie hotel, which I guess is a Marriott sub-brand.
Okay.
The reason I chose it was because it was a half-hour walk from the pencil. Because last year we got stuck in traffic for an hour and a half trying to get away from it. And so I was like, if I park a half-hour walk away and we just walk over there and back, no traffic. And sure enough, that is what happened. But that meant we stayed at this place called the Moxie. Have you ever stayed in a Moxie, Peter? Have you heard of Moxie even?
I have never heard of a Moxie.
I had never either. But it was a very weird vibe for a hotel. It's one of those like off-brand hotels that Marriott has. There's not a check-in counter. There's a bar, and the bartenders will check you into your room and also serve you a drink, and then there's just a bar.
Okay.
Which was interesting. It came with complimentary drinks, so we went and got drinks. And then we went up to our room, and in the room, again, first off, the only comfortable hotel bed that I have slept in years, maybe ever.
That's impressive.
Genuinely, every time we go on vacation, I am uncomfortable. And this was the first time I was like, oh, I fuck with this bed. This is a really nice bed. I need to look up and see what bed it is so that I can try to figure out what other hotels use this bed.
There you go.
But the other fun thing is, they're just trying to be like weird and mod. There was a guitar and amp in our room. So Cassie just like grabbed this Squier Stratocaster, a knockoff Fender, and like played guitar while I was just like scrolling Twitter before we went and got dinner or whatever. You could call on the like phone in the room, and they would tell you a bedtime story. Like they had a bunch of pre-recorded bedtime stories you could listen to. It was a very, I had a good time. I would absolutely stay in that hotel again. It was very quirky. It was very fun.
Cool.
So that's worth mentioning.
Love it.
What else have I been up to? Oh, I have been, I was bitten with the urge to power wash, and Power Wash Simulator 2 was on sale. And I was like, it's on sale. I think it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to give them money and play Power Wash Simulator 2. So I am about, it looks like 40% of the way through Power Wash Simulator 2. I'm doing the barn right now.
Uh-huh.
So
it's a big barn.
It's a very big barn. I just hit
barn.
71% before I closed it to hop into this call with you. So I should have it done hopefully by the end of the evening. But, we're trudging away, picking away slowly but surely at the power washing. It's still very cathartic. It's still a great way to turn off one's brain and just chill out and hang out, which is fun.
Agree.
Let's see, what else have we been up to? Oh, Cassie mostly watched The Batman with me. But she did fall asleep. Mostly. That was what we decided to do when we got back to the hotel room, and we'd been running around all day. We did the most sensible thing you can do when you go to a new town, and that is go thrifting. We went to the thrift shops.
There you go.
Which is madness, I know. Because why do you need to go to other cities to see other people's trash? But here we are. We did it anyway. It was fun. But when it was all said and done, after we had eaten dinner, after we were chilling out, Cassie was like, well, let's watch something. So we pulled up The Batman on the HBO Go that the TV had. And I still really like that movie. It is too long. 3 hours is too long for a Batman movie.
I mean, that's why I still have not watched it.
Also, there's a whole fifth act that didn't need to be there. You get to the end of the fourth act and it feels like everything's wrapping up, and then you look at the little timer on the bottom and you're like, 45 minutes left. What the fuck is left to be done? And then there's a whole fifth act. So it is too long, but I do still think it's a very good version of Batman. If one wanted to watch a Batman movie, you'd be hard-pressed to find one I think is much better than it. I had a very good time watching it again, even if it meant I didn't go to bed till 1 a.m. But the bed was comfortable, so that's what counts.
I mean, that is a big deal when it comes to hotel beds.
I think that's probably it. I think that's all I did. So I think that means we should move on to our main event. And this week, dear listeners, I made Peter watch some anime again.
You did. You keep doing this to me.
I do keep doing this to you. And sometimes it's really worth it. Sometimes you're like, I don't know about this one, like Ghost in the Shell. Sometimes you're like, how dare you tear my heart out and then step on it with stiletto heels like Look Back.
Yeah.
And sometimes you watch the first 4 episodes, aka the OVA episodes of You're Under Arrest from 1994 to 1995. Peter, what did you think? Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, my biggest disappointment is the title.
They never arrested a single person.
Nobody got arrested.
They never arrested a single person in 4 episodes of this ding dang show.
Anyway, sorry.
The closest thing is when motorcycle cop man gets the yellow driver out of his car, but they don't put him in handcuffs.
Nope, they don't.
Anyway, I don't know why it's named that, but it's named You're Under Arrest. And so, what did you think about this before I give a little bit of background on this, why I chose it, kind of get situated in its milieu? What did you think of these 4 episodes of anime I made you watch?
Here's what I'll say. It was fun.
Yeah.
They were cute.
Yeah.
And they absolutely reinforced all of my preconceptions about anime.
Speak on that.
The theme song is just something else. It's special.
I love the theme song.
Oh, I didn't. I listened to it. I made myself listen to it the first time. I was like, I will listen to this whole theme song, this first episode.
I think it's delightful.
And then the next 3, I was like, click, 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 click. Okay, good. I'm done.
Skip credits, skip credits, skip credits.
The standard overreaction animation stuff at innocuous things.
Sure.
The silliness at times where I'm like, I feel like this would have hit a little harder if you weren't being so silly.
Sure.
And then just the sort of incomprehensible things where I'm like, I'm sorry. And I don't think you can say this is a factor of the time. I don't even think in 1994, the police chief would be saying to 2 cops, you guys, the sexual tension is too much. You're going on a date and we are paying for it. That's how important it is that you go on this date.
No, it was very funny though. I've never seen this before, but I'd wanted to see it for a long time. Because I really like, this is a silly thing to be the reason why I wanted to watch it, but Kosuke Fujishima, the guy who wrote the manga upon which the show is based, is also famous for, his most famous work is Oh My Goddess, which is kind of a funny harem comedy sort of thing. A boy accidentally gets a goddess to be his girlfriend. Anyway, the thing about Oh My Goddess is it's just okay in terms of the writing, but good God, the designs are so good. Like, it looks incredible. The designs of the 3 main goddesses and Oh My Goddesses are so great. And I just really like his character design work, which is most of what he's done other than like 2 or 3 big manga. The vast majority of his work has been character design work. He designed the characters in most of the Tales games, like Tales from Vesperia, Tales from Berseria. Very cool character design. Violet, the main character of Tales from Berseria, is one of the coolest JRPG protagonists you'll ever see. She's cool. She's very, very cool. So he's got like a certain visual flair. And I had just heard that, this OVA came out in the 90s and is lavish and very light, very inconsequential and just kind of fun to watch. So I kind of wanted to watch it. Are you familiar with what an OVA is, Peter?
I was not. I did a little bit of a, trying to educate myself. So I did a little bit of looking into it, but it was definitely one of these things when you said, you sent the text and said that, I'm like, I don't know what some of these things you are saying to me mean.
Yeah, fair. So an OVA stands for original video animation. So that means that it is an animated program of some ilk that was not first aired on broadcast television. It came out primarily and predominantly on media. In the 90s, it would have been on VHS. Later on in the late 90s, early 2000s, you get to DVD and Blu-ray or whatever. But like that's how this came out. It was not a thing you watched on TV. It was a thing that you went to the store and you bought a VHS that had an episode of this show on it. So when it comes to OVAs, go ahead.
This is one thing that I found interesting in some of the stuff I could find, especially you think mid 90s and you hear the phrase direct to video animation.
You think it's going to be shit.
You think this is like, again, this is
the Little Mermaid
Aladdin
2
sequel. This is the Little Mermaid.
This is Return of Jafar.
But what I came to understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but that this was the exact opposite. This was like prestige stuff.
Yeah. So it depends. When it comes to an OVA, you've got three options. You've got, this is a cheap cash grab, like Return of Jafar. You've got, this is where the money goes, because we know we're going to get an ROI here because people are going to buy this on VHS, and those VHSs cost $40 to $50 American for a single episode of television. So we know we're going to make a lot of money from this. So it is going to be lavish.
Yeah, I found some things that said it could be as much as depending on, some of them were $70 for a videotape with a single episode.
Yeah, for a 25-minute episode of anime. Or, and this is the one that this is number 2. The one we watched, You're Under Arrest, this is a number 2. This is lavish. The animation is incredible. It is all like really stunning to look at. The third one is pornography.
I was going to say, that's got to be, it's coming.
And so those are the three ways that OVAs exist, because one of the things you can do on an OVA is you don't have to follow broadcast standards anymore. So obviously they could be more violent, they could be more bloody, and they can have a lot more nudity and sex in them than they can if they're for broadcast television. Luckily for our purposes, You're Under Arrest does not have any blood or sex in it really at all. It is extremely just like cute and chaste and funny, and doesn't even really have much fan service. Like, there's a little bit in that third episode where you see Natsume in her underwear for like a second, or when she goes to the locker room, but it's not leering in the way I would have expected a locker room scene to be, especially in an OVA. Yeah. I would have expected there to be a lot more TNA than this had in it. I was honestly shocked at how little TNA there was. But I'm going to give a quick overview of the idea of You're Under Arrest, and then we'll talk about particulars. So You're Under Arrest primarily follows two main characters, who are Natsume Sugimoto, who is the brand new police officer in this particular ward, Bokuto Station in Tokyo's Sumida ward, and her partner Miyuki Kobayakawa. And these two are very young officers who get paired up together. They meet comically when Natsume is late for work and decides to break some traffic laws, and Miyuki sees her and then goes to cite her and then doesn't give her a citation because, oops, I'm actually your partner and I was coming to pick you up because you were late on your first day of work. Anyway, complications ensue. At first, Natsume doesn't seem like she likes Miyuki, but they really come to care a lot about each other by the end of that first episode, and then they're just like partners through the rest of it. And again, there was really only 4 episodes that we watched for this. The one where they meet and go on an adventure together that is planned by the ex-chief, who is now a Buddhist
like
monk.
Some monk dude that she had totally crashed through on her.
Yeah, he's like the shrine. He's the shrine elder who used to be the chief, and he is basically doing like a fun hazing for them so that they could become partners. The second episode is about a typhoon, and there's this like guy who's driving unsafely through this typhoon and causing all sorts of trouble. So the motorcycle cop who I mentioned earlier, his name is Ken Nakajima, and Miyuki has a huge crush on him, and he has a huge crush on her, but we'll get to that in a second. Miyuki also an incredible mechanic. So she soups up Ken's motorcycle so that he can pursue this yellow car that is driving so unsafely.
Well, that's the thing is that car, it is a straight up rally car. So it is a tuned rally car. And I love that we get this like hint that this guy only like shows up and comes out to drive his rally car occasionally. He's like,
and it's always during typhoons.
Yeah. I'm watching this and I'm like, he's like Ken's white whale.
Yeah. And then of course, our Natsume and Miyuki are doing something extremely important and extremely pressing for the police to be doing. And that is getting a pregnant cat to the veterinary hospital because it's going to have a breech birth.
Yep.
That's episode 2.
Episode
3.
You got to get the cat.
You got to save the cat. And they save
the cat.
Is this
the same cat? I think it's the same cat. It's the same
cat. It's the same cat she saves in the first episode. Uh-huh. Yep. Episode 3, Miyuki and Ken are totally into each other and they keep not making it happen. Miyuki goes to her high school reunion and Natsume's like, she's going to find love there if you're not careful. So they drive to the wrong town to try to bust in so he can make a love declaration in her high school reunion. So now everyone thinks that they've been up to no good because they stayed out together all night because they drove to this other city together.
And got super drunk.
And then got super drunk. All these gossiping and rumors are going around. And so, as you said, the chief orders them to go on a date together. And so they do. It's very cute. Best Everyone is following them. Everyone is on a stakeout, following them, making sure that they're going on the date. Like there's this guy speaking into a hidden thing. He's like, they're on their way. And then Natsume and the girl with the glasses, whose name I can't think of right now.
They got like a parabolic microphone in the park pointed at them.
Yoriko. Yeah, Yoriko and Natsume are like listening in. And then they get a call. And so the girls run off together. And as they leave, she whispers in Ken's ear, we got to do this again, but next time you need to just ask, bro.
Uh-huh.
And then the last episode, Natsume gets the invitation to be the first female bike trooper in the Tokyo Metro Police Department. And she loves to ride her bike. It's going to be like a great opportunity for her. But she has trouble telling Miyuki that that is what she's going to do. She finds out Miyuki already knew about the transfer and gives her an alarm clock. Miyuki is very depressed because she's not with Natsume anymore. Natsume is kind of sad as well. There's a marathon, and Natsume is one of the escorts for the marathon. And during the marathon, this guy opens his gas tank on his bike while his vehicle is running. So it, of course, and then drops some of the gas from it.
It shows a little bit dribbling down, and then he's like, "Why is my gas tank empty?" And then he opens it, and then it spills more, and then of course it catches on fire. And
yeah, so
of course he's right behind a truck that looks like it has magazines and newspapers in the back. So
of course
we've got plenty of tinder to go up.
Yeah, so a fire starts. All of the other cops are trying to get to the fire. They're trying to get the cars away from it, all this sort of stuff. A semi-trailer, a gas truck.
Looks like a fuel tank.
Starts rolling down a hill towards it. And then Natsume appears on her bike as she heard over the radio that, shenanigans were ensuing. And Miyuki, Ken, and Natsume are able to stop it right at the very last second. And Natsume decides to go back to Bokuto so she can work with Miyuki some more, which is apparently where the television series picks up. And then there are like 70 more episodes of this stuff. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we watched these first 4.
What did you think? So again, I'll go more into my thoughts, but as this was something that you wanted to watch, I was very curious to hear what your conclusion was after watching this.
It looks fucking incredible, dog. The animation
looks really
is so good. It looks so good. It is a lot more slight than I expected it to be. It was a lot lighter. It almost felt like a slice of life, but about cops in a lot of ways. And in that way, it was sort of reminiscent of Brooklyn Nine-Nine to me in some ways. Not as pointed, maybe not as like thinking about social issues as Brooklyn Nine-Nine often is. But some of my favorite episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine are the episodes that are about nothing and that there's no actual police work that happens. It is just these characters who happen to be cops in a funny situation. And that is kind of how I felt about You're Under Arrest as well, where it was these characters who I ended up liking quite a bit by the end of the show, just kind of being goofy. And it was a kind of a workplace slice of life comedy that just happened to have traffic cops.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that point, because I think if episode 4 is the one that has the most copying happening.
Yeah, it does.
And I would still say that I never cared about the fire.
No.
In that all you care about is you're like, well, what's gonna, I mean, the whole thing, all of the police work only serves to get Natsume and Miyuki back together as partners again. And that's what you care about. That's what you're looking for.
Well, and I think that it's interesting that I think it is because they're specifically traffic cops. They are not detectives. They're not beat cops.
Sure.
They're not, special victims unit. They're traffic cops. So I think that's part of why you didn't see any arrests. But again, why is it called You're Under Arrest then? But it does speak to the quotidian nature of a lot of the work that they do. And that in a lot of ways, they're more first responder than police officer in most of their interactions and the things that they're doing as the show goes along.
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
Yeah, I really liked the characters. I thought Natsume and Miyuki were very fun. The will they, won't they with Ken was very entertaining. Apparently, eventually, there's a love interest for Natsume as well as the show goes along, because of course there has to be. You gotta have drama. You gotta have the drama. I do love. There is a scene in the 3rd episode where Yoriko has made a mistake and told everybody that Miyuki is going to see a matchmaker, and everyone gives her a dirty look, and Yoriko makes this face where she sticks out her tongue and holds her hands on her head like this. And it's one of the most famous images from anime I've ever seen. I've been seeing it for 20 years on the internet. Whenever you're a silly goose, that's the picture you put to show that you're a silly goose.
I did not catch that.
I did not know it was from this show until I was watching it, and I was like, yo, that's the image you put up when you're a silly goose.
It's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme pointing at
it's
the
like
TV.
the Leo pointing at that's how I felt. I felt like Leo pointing at the TV, and I was like, oh my God, it's that meme I've been seeing for 20 years.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I had a fun time with it. It was very light. I don't know that I would bother watching much more of it.
Okay.
Especially because if there was a dub, I probably would. But having to pay close attention to a thing this slight makes me less apt to watch more of it, I think.
Oh, and see, I will say that the versions that I watched were also dubbed. I had the choice.
Okay.
And the first thing I did was flip it over to the English.
That's fair. I watched it in Japanese. I think it has an English dub on the rip that I have, because I think we have the same rip. I think we both bought the same Blu-rays, definitely, and got them imported from Japan.
Of course we did.
Yeah, we definitely bought those Blu-rays and had them imported over from Japan, and definitely have region-free Blu-ray players that we ordered online, and that's how we watch these for sure. But I watched it in Japanese because I wanted to, see what the feel was like. I would absolutely watch more of it if it was dubbed. because it
Now,
was fun. It
here's
was great background stuff. I would watch it while I was building model kits if I had a dub for it.
so and it may be worth. I don't know, and it would depend on your level of enjoyment. I don't know if I would say you should go back and watch the dub,
Mm-hmm.
but I almost want to say you should go back and watch the dub, because here's what I will say: the English subs are so much worse than actually the dialogue and stuff in the dubs.
They're often so much more
They're
literal.
spare and they're literal. Whereas I thought and I am usually a watch it in the language, read the subtitles kind of person,
Sure.
but I actually think that the voice work for this was very good and very fun and fit the characters well. And so I
Okay.
thought that actually the English dubs were pretty dang good, and it made it more enjoyable, because I started reading the subtitles, and again I was like, I wonder, and then I popped open the menu on my region free DVD player, and I saw, oh look, there's an English audio track, and I clicked over to that, and it was good. Like I thought it was actually a really good dub that made it
Okay.
for me. I definitely enjoyed it more watching the dub than if I'd have been trying to focus on reading the subtitles.
For sure.
And
For
again,
sure.
the subtitles, the dialogue in the dub was a lot better than what was in the subtitles.
I find that happens sometimes. Like there are some shows where there's not a huge discrepancy there, but I feel like especially with anime, there's a fairly large discrepancy there.
Yeah.
And it feels like when they do a dub, they're a little looser with the translation, but with an eye towards making it a more entertaining experience rather than just trying to be as literal as possible.
Yeah, I could see that. It was, yeah, I was pleased at how the dubs were, because I was watching them this morning and I was a little tired, and I was like, man, I'm going to really struggle if I'm sitting here trying to read this all. So I switched it over, and then I had a fun time. I had fun.
Good to know. Good to know.
I would say, like I said, it did kind of reinforce a lot of my preconceptions about anime.
Sure.
And some of the reasons why I don't want to say, here's what I'll say. You have got me to a point where I would no longer say I don't like anime.
Okay.
I am now to a point where I would say I struggle with anime and I can like some of it, but I am willing to give it a shot.
Fair.
And this is one where I enjoyed the 4 episodes. I don't have any plans to watch them again, and I don't have any plans to watch more, but the art was very good. It just the visual spectacle of watching them was very pleasant to watch, and they were fun. And the characters, I was impressed at how quickly at the end of that first episode. So before they go on the whole mission to chase down the man in the mini, the guy in the red mini who's cruising around, who's the retired chief / monk. Natsumi is like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if we should be partners. And Miyuki's like, okay, well, we'll flip a coin. Heads, we stay partners. Tails, we call it quits. We're good. She flips, slaps it on her hand, and starts to uncover it when all of a sudden, oh, they've got to go chase down the dude in the red mini. And so they go on this whole thing. And it's maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's not long.
And at the end of that all, Miyuki's like, oh, we didn't see what it was. And she pulls out the coin, and Natsumi's like, oh, I'll flip it. And then she throws it in the ocean or the water, because they're going to be they're going to be partners now. They're friends. And I bought it, actually.
Yeah.
Like I bought it. At that point, I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, this is going to work. You guys are going to be good. So
yeah.
I thought they did a good job with it still being, like you said, it was fairly minimal, kind of spare stories, but enough there that you buy that these two are not only partners who work well together, but that they are good friends.
Yeah. And like they are living together by episode 3. Natsumi lives far away from the station, so she moves in with Miyuki, but that's all just kind of like she says, oh, if you want to live closer. And then by the next episode,
and
they are living in the same place.
And be on time. Because
Yeah,
she's
well,
like,
yeah.
it'll be a lot easier for you to be on time if you don't live so far away.
She's still not very good at it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. No, like I say, it was fun. They were fun. Not
really
groundbreaking, but fun.
I really like the vehicles. That little tiny police car that they have, the Toyota Every or Extra, it's one of those two. It's a terrible name for a vehicle. It's tiny. It seems like there's not a whole lot there. The fact that they often, in order to stop, have Natsume stick her feet out of the vehicle to try to get it to slow down. Not once, but like twice.
And the fact that in the 4th episode, Miyuki gets in a wreck because now Yoriko
can't do that.
Can't do it. And she makes a turn just expecting that Natsume's going to be there to pop open the door and stick her feet out and do the Flintstone breaking. I don't know what they call it. Natsume literally refers to it.
Puts her feet on the ground.
No, but in the dub, she refers to it as Flintstone breaking. And I love that.
That's funny. That's very good.
It was great.
That's very good. I loved also her little moto compo, which is a very, very tiny motorcycle that folds up into a box, basically. And
but then the fact that Miyuki
is designed to sit in the back of the car.
But Miyuki has souped up both their Toyota. I mean, at one point, she's like flipping the NOS switch. She's got some nitrous in there.
Yeah, they put NOS into it. It's very funny.
And the great thing is, like, as Miyuki's telling Natsume about, oh, well, we'll be okay because we got this and I got this and I've done this and I've done this. And then she's like, oh, and I've got nitrous in there. And Natsume's like, you've got nitrous in here? And then boom, she hits the button and they take off. Like, that was a fun little sequence. That was fun.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a very fun time. I liked it as much as I'd hoped that I would. And it was a good excuse to finally get to a thing I've been meaning to watch ever since the Blu-ray came out. Because, I knew the animation was going to look good and I wanted to see it in HD instead of in, 480p.
Yeah, no, it's a nice version.
As I mentioned to you, dear listeners, if you want to relive ye olden days of getting OVAs, there's a 320p rip of this on archive.org that you could go find. It's real rough, but it makes you feel like you're watching a VHS tape. I'll tell you that much.
No, they did a nice job. In fact, this was actually something that, because I haven't watched anything of this era in a long time, you know what I forgot? I forgot that iPads are 4x3. And so when I fired it up on my 13-inch iPad Pro with a dual tandem OLED display, which is quite honestly the best display, at least in my possession, I have no screen on which to watch anything that is better than that iPad. I popped it up.
That whole thing.
And it filled the whole thing. No black bars, top, bottom, sides, anywhere. It was just boom.
Baby.
Full color OLED right there, taking up that whole screen. That was actually, I was like, I wouldn't often say that a 13-inch screen is the best way to watch something, but I think this might have been the best way to watch this.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
That was fun.
The last thing we'll do before we close. So they had the 4-episode OVA, and then it had 2 seasons of a show, and then it got a revival series in the 2010s. I want to send you the OP to the revival series so you can start it up and you can see how the mighty have fallen. This is what 2017 You're Under Arrest looks like, Peter.
All right. Did we send it in the chat here? I see it. Okay. I'm popping it open.
First off, the music is much worse. I know you didn't like that OP. The music for the second OP is much worse. It already is so much uglier. It's the animation is so much cheaper looking. It's all digipaint and you can tell. And then it gets along and it's just like a whole lot of leering, hey, look at these girls in their bikinis playing volleyball on the beach.
I was just going to say, it didn't take very long for us to get the gratuitous bikini shots on the beach in that one.
And this is the OP to the show, so it's going to be in every episode.
Yeah, no.
Is this a sports anime or is this a cop anime. Why are they spending 2/3 of the opening playing beach volleyball?
Huge downgrade. Huge downgrade.
Huge downgrade. So really, the 80s and we've talked about it before. The 80s and 90s are, to me, peak anime. This is one example of that because boy, does that look better than this newer stuff does.
I mean, yeah, very much so. Very much so. Well, cool.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it there. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. Leave us some reviews, leave us some stars. You know the business. And until then, we'll see you later.
Bye.